Yeah, pretty much. And it's strange as a revert when you see lots of feet. A lot of feet. Because you're used to people wearing shoes in front of you in a masjid. Every masjid I walk into now, I don't see it as a masjid full of Asians and us. I walk into a masjid, I think it's my own house. I walk in, so I don't go, Assalamu alaikum. I go, Assalamu alaikum. And everyone's like, what the heck, these white guys proper on it. It's nice because they're seeing a change, they're seeing a guy what finds the masjid comfortable.
Our second guest today.
A Duracell battery 5. You compare me to a battery powered man-made item. Nice.
So this podcast is gonna be like humor, I think. I don't think I can keep a straight face.
A battery life 5.
You ready?
I'm ready, bruv.
Khalid, are you ready?
Inshallah.
Go.
Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Please welcome today again to another episode of the CubeCast. I'm your host for today. My name is Zahid. I'm joined by brother Khalid now. I'm going to introduce him as a Duracell battery times 5. This person's energy levels are out of the roof. His sense of humor is out of the world. And he's a fun person to be around. And that's why he's our second guest on the show. Assalamu alaikum, Khalid.
Wa alaikum salam.
I was hoping for we practiced this before you came on. You said something. I was hoping for we'll put in the bloopers, inshallah.
Inshallah.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, Khalid the man.
Well, I'm from Sheffield, being a revert over 8 years now. Got a big family. I've got like an Asian family, you want to call it. 8 sisters, 2 older brothers. So a big family, mashallah.
MashaAllah.
And I like to be president of Muslims.
MashaAllah. So what do you do like as a job, if you don't mind me asking?
Working mechanics.
MashaAllah. So you get to meet a lot of different people every single day.
A lot.
And how is that?
Alhamdulillah, good.
So you get to, because obviously during lockdown you haven't actually stopped working during the lockdown period. You now, alhamdulillah, lockdown's over. Not to worry anybody. But you never stopped working, so that must have been a hard period for you.
Very hard period. So everyone else is working from home and I'm sat there on a desk.
Okay.
Pretty much, yeah. So I'm on the front lines like a soldier.
So we were clapping for you as well, on Thursday night we were clapping, not just for NHS but also for
Clapping
Khalid.
for my son as well.
But tell us a little bit about yourself in terms of what made you interested in Islam. What got you?
Well, pretty much when I was younger, both my sisters become Muslim. Now they've been Muslims over 15 years each. So
Sure.
they become Muslims when I was a child. And I remember they were looking into different religions, Christianity. At one point they even went into Buddhism. I don't know why, but they went into all different kind of religions, studying them. And then one day, my sisters came home and I walked into one of the rooms and I've seen them praying. And they had the hijab on and all this. I was thinking, why are they praying on a carpet for? What's that carpet for? A bit strange, really. And after when they stopped, they didn't listen to me. I was trying to talk to them, they wouldn't listen to me.
So tell us about the age difference here, just because obviously you said I was a child.
I was 9 and my sisters at the moment, they're like nearly 10 years older than me. You know what I mean?
Mashallah.
So I was 9 and they're
gonna kill you for disclosing your age now.
Yeah, 100%. But as a child seeing that, it's strange. It's a strange feeling. You think something's going wrong or something's happened to them because they're ignoring you when you try to talk to them.
Yeah.
But then after when they finished prayer, they came into my room and they were explaining what they've done and all that. And at that point, I wanted to take a shahada. I wanted to be a Muslim.
So at 9 you want to take the
It's
shahada?
at 9, yeah. So when I was younger, I wanted to be a Muslim. And their exact words to me was, when you're old enough and you're ready, look into it and then take your shahada. Don't rush into it because you're a child. You won't keep to it. And I said, that's fine. And then I went to a mixed school, different ethnicities, Asians, English people, but just a mix. And then pretty much I had a couple of Asian mates. We used to staff a lot of WAG lessons, mostly science.
Please, this is not encouraging this at all.
Yep. And they were very welcoming, very nice people. They welcomed me with open arms. We had a laugh. There were no retaliation. And in this school that I went to, there were a lot of violence towards the English people and the other ethnicities, i.e. Muslims. A lot of tension used to arise because of it. And these weren't the same and I weren't the same, so we bonded. It was nice. Mashallah, it was nice.
So you bonded with who, sorry?
The Asians.
Okay.
And the English people. So
you were kind of you were integrated in all societies.
Also, yeah.
Mashallah.
And it made it better for me because when my sister used to come to the school, both of them used to wear hijabs. So the Asian were like, oh my God, white people, white Muslims. So that was quite, and they used to ask me questions and I used to like that. And then pretty much after that, it started from there. I wanted to be Muslim from young. And then I went to a college. That college was, in my class, was full of Muslims.
Okay.
So it was like a sign. There were only me and another person was non-Muslim. So it was a bit strange. Like it all mounted up to the same thing. And then pretty much after that, I don't know what happened. One day I woke up and I thought, do you know what? The time's right to take Shahada. And I walked into my sister and went, I want to do it. She went, what? I went, Shahada. At this point, I was 19-year-old. I went, I want to do it. And they said, okay, do you know what? Go to the mosque, see what you think of the environment, wash first, do this. And I did. Went to the mosque. And then I met you, Revert there. And I was like, yeah, do you know what? This is good. Like, I still remember there were fans just kicking like,
Oh, yeah. I can remember from the days. Astaghfirullah, I should remember better was you remember the date, because every time I ask you, you tell me a date like off the top of your head. So what was the date?
15th of July, halfway through Eid.
MashaAllah. What year?
Do you know what? The years, it's been that long, it's the year what's done me over. I can't even remember the year. I remember the month, I remember the date.
15th of July. It's got to be.
I think, I forgot when it were, but it was a very long time ago now.
Okay.
But I did used to have it. I read
I
my
used to
phone
ask
as
you.
well.
I used to
And
ask
in my
you.
head, it's just gone blank. Because I think you can't put a year on when you become a Muslim, because you're born a Muslim. So that year's just.
So you would
gone.
say it wasn't necessarily a moment. It was always something that you were building towards up to, and it was something that you wanted to do.
That's correct.
And from what I remember, when I spoke to you in the masjid, you were already there. It was like I didn't have to do anything. You were already like a Muslim as far as I was concerned. It was just you were just willing to take the step.
Yeah.
But in terms of when you did become Muslim, because this was a process, I think, that you were always in one way gearing yourself up for your entire life. So it wasn't, like I remember, it wasn't as hard as maybe some other people may have experienced.
Yeah.
Because you had family members who had encouraged you.
Which helped a real lot.
Yeah. But what were the hardships that you faced after you became Muslim?
Well, I would say being a Muslim and being white, it's not only the Asians what think it's weird, and the Muslim community what think, what's this white guy dressing up in a jubba and stuff. It's worse when you're in a pure English area where Muslims are known, you know what I mean? They're not like, they're everywhere, they just rarely see them.
Mm-hmm.
And usually when you do see them, either my sisters what they saw, or they saw them inside cars driving through. So when they saw me, it was pretty much my mates laughed at me for how I was taking the mic. You're not a Muslim, what you're acting stupid for, you're British, you're English, you're born English. But I just fobbed it off. I'm like, you know what, it's not to do you. Now my family's never been Christian, they've never been anything. We believed in there was a God, but none of us actually had a religion to ourselves.
So you're talking like you mentioned you met someone outside the post office and someone gave you some grief.
Yeah, that's correct. They were an older man, and I was wearing a jubba, and I was walking to the mosque. Back then I walked from my area to this area to go to the mosque. I never had a car.
Yeah, it's about, for the audience, that's about a good 3-mile walk.
Yeah, and I used to walk because there's burger in walking from your house to the mosque. Every step you take, you get reward. So I took every reward I did. When I first became a Muslim, I thought, you know what, I can get as much reward as I want. And I did. I walked it every time. And I used to go to the Tajweed class to try and learn a bit more, watch the bros talk. And I went to the post office to draw some money out to get a drink from the corner shop, which miraculously enough is that one there, the next door shop. Because there was a brother called Ahmed, what used to work there, an Arab guy from Yemen.
Yeah, I think he's
he was very nice.
still works there.
No, he left.
Oh,
he went back. They had some trouble. And I used to talk to him before I went to the Tajweed class and went to the prayer. And it was Maghrib what I used to go for all the time before Tajweed class. So I still remember the prayer what I went to, because it was always an hour before that Maghrib prayer. And I went to the post office to get some money. I drew the money out, and there was an English guy there. And he laughed, and he was an elderly guy, and he went, "What are you wearing that for?" And he swore, I won't repeat it, but he swore, and he said, "What are you wearing that for? You're born English, you're white, get it off yourself, you look stupid." It was just an insult, but obviously, as a Muslim, you're not meant to retaliate, argue. Definitely an older man, he's older, you don't know any wiser. So I just said to him, you know what, I said, that's fine. And I walked away, carried on walking to the mosque, and he got me down, he got me feeling a bit crap by myself, because I'm walking to the mosque, and in my head I'm thinking about what he's saying. And then after the prayer, I met one of the brothers who I'm really close to from this area, and I told him what happened, and he laughed and said, "Don't let it get you down, because the more it gets to you, the more it's going to eat you inside. Just laugh it off, get on with your days." And I did. And from that day on, I carried on with the jubba to the job centre. I wore it to pick up my nephew and nieces from school, and I wore it everywhere. I didn't care. At this point, I was proper into it. I wanted it. I did a lot. And pretty much it started from there. I started rejecting people's comments. I didn't care. And then after a while, when I went to hang around with mates, they were comfortable with me. They were chilling with me over here. They didn't care.
But these are non-Muslims.
These are non-Muslims.
Okay.
I tried to even help them persuade them, but you know what they're like. They're like, you know, it's not for me. But alhamdulillah, they were all happy with it. They were all proud of me. A couple of them, not naming names, but went to prison. A couple of them, just their life just went shattered. But I know them. My mum used to say, look at you where they are and look at where you are now. And I said to mum, it's because of Islam. If I didn't follow Islam, I wouldn't be where I am today. Today, I would be either in prison or I would be doing something stupid on the roads.
Yeah.
But alhamdulillah, they've opened their eyes, they see me, they're happy with me. People from my own area know me by my Muslim name, Khalid. So that's even better because when they see me go, oh, that's Khalid. Even the young guns, they call me Khalid. So everyone's known to it. And my area now starts to open up. There's more ethnicities, more majorities. There's more people moving onto the area, what's helping combine the ethnicities together, which is, mashallah, even better. It's better than what it was.
You kind of brushed it off really quickly in terms of, you said, I just brushed off all this negativity and I just, became Muslim, I kept doing this. But there must have been something that you were doing that was helping you in terms of motivating yourself, because obviously getting all this negative abuse, it must have been hard for you as an individual just to take that.
Yeah.
Especially because where you're from, your surroundings.
Yeah.
And what did you do for as a personal self to?
Well, there were a couple of things I did. First thing was talk to friends. Obviously, the Muslim friends what I gained, talk to them first. And obviously, because they've experienced abuse as well, they know what I went through, so they were fine. My sisters, big help, because obviously they're English reverts, white reverts. They've been on the area, they've had it all thrown at them for years before me. So they were used to it as well, so talking to them helped me. A lot of things what did help me was obviously scholars on YouTube. So Mufti Menk, there were the Dawah man, there were quite a few things that helped me because I was reading up on things what their hardship were and how to go past it. So if you go on the internet, on YouTube mostly, you'll find people that can help you and guide you and show you the way. And they can really, when you listen to nasheeds as well, where it tells you about certain things what someone's been through, like Abu Bakr and all that stuff, and the Sahabas, you think to yourself, minor names are nothing. They don't hurt you, they don't affect you.
The interesting thing you said about YouTube is obviously because we're now the Q Foundation made a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, yesterday I was on the dawah stall that we do.
Yeah.
And I was talking to this English brother came on his bike. I think his name was Liam. He actually subscribed to the channel in front of me, so big shout out to Liam. And I met him and he goes, oh yeah, we're starting a YouTube channel. Would you like to be on the sort of, this conversation? Are you willing to record it? And he was a bit hesitant to on camera, so which I accept, no problems. But I said, he goes, yeah, I love watching YouTube. I go like, oh, what do you watch then? And he goes, I watch Freshly Grounded. And I thought to myself, I watch Freshly Grounded as well sometimes. And the funny thing was, I'm looking at this individual who's a non-Muslim, white male in his early 20s, and he's watching a Muslim-orientated show. So that encouraged me to, obviously, with the YouTube channel and, this podcast that we do, that we should really get out there, because there's a big audience of people wanting to get this information.
Yeah.
But in terms of, okay, we've talked about your hardship. There's a cameraman who's pointing your hat. I don't know what he's saying. I think he's saying, can you put your hat up a bit? But in terms of your hardships...
That's what happens when you pay someone £9 an hour.
You paid zero.
We won't disclose his wages at the moment. But you talk about your hardships now. You're a person that I say integrates with everybody. Like we always said, you had white friends, Asian friends, Muslim friends, non-Muslim friends. So tell us a bit about your experiences as a Muslim who was just even though you're being a bit I'd say a bit reserved on camera at the moment, but you're a larger than life character as far as I'm concerned. And how was that sort of integrating the masjid when you came to, obviously we live in, you would call like a majority Pakistani area. I would say this area is a few Arabs, a few Somalis, but a majority Pakistani area. The masajids are a certain type of masajids.
Yeah.
How did you find the experience?
I found it overwhelming, to be honest. Like at first I thought I was quiet, I was always in the masjid in the corner, just sat there doing a bit of sikr, a bit of prayer beads. For all those who know what sikr are, the little beads when you walk around and you just say words to them, you'll learn it. And I was just sat there doing them. I thought to myself pretty much like this is unknown to me, like this is strange, you know what I mean? I've seen my sister's Muslim, but I've never actually experienced being surrounded by different ethnicities, like surrounded all the time. Like I know I went to a mixed school, but sat inside one place where you got the uncles, you got the brothers, and they all know each other and all shake hands, and you're sat there from this different guy and you're like, oh, what am I doing?
Because when you're in school, you know them, and then you come home and you don't really know them intimately.
Because in school you get introduced to each other, like, oh, this is Khalid, this is So you get to know each other's names and they give you activities to do. In a masjid, you're walking in a masjid, you're just like, what am I doing? So at first it's unknown to you, like you think, what am I doing? But the best advice is if you can find a local masjid where you're going to go to it all the time and you're going to see the same face all the time, they're going to get to know you whether you know them or not. They're going to start integrating with you better. They're going to start welcoming you, shaking your hands. On Eid prayer, they're going to shake you, they're going to hug you, they're going to be like, Eid Mubarak and everything, you know what I mean? They're going to do a lot with you, but at first you feel like you're not welcome, you feel a bit uneased, you feel a bit vulnerable basically, you know what I mean? But then you start integrating, you start knowing everyone, you're walking, everyone smiles at you, and then you sit with them, and pretty much you can just be yourself again, you know what I mean? Like you're walking, at first you're quiet, and then after you're bubbler. And even though it's a masjid, you start slowly come back to yourself.
Your personality starts to come out.
Yeah, your personality comes out, and people start seeing you for who you are, you start seeing them for who they are. So in a way, at first it's totally like, you know what am I doing here? I should have just been at home and read at home. And then when you break that barrier of communication with the brothers, you're like, yeah, I need to go mosque me up, chill with these old guys and that. So yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's strange as a revert when you see lots of feet. A lot of feet. Because you're used to people wearing shoes in front of you in a masjid. A lot of people just wear either sandals, so they take them off to pray. And then you see a lot of feet when you're looking down and you're doing zikr. You see a lot. So for all those with foot fetishes, enjoy. But yeah, it's strange in a way. It's
I never thought that.
you need to start thinking like that though. Well, if you revert someone with a foot fetish, be careful. But past that point, it's nice when you get used to it and you get used to the people. Like I became close with the imams. Every masjid I walk into now, I don't see it as a masjid full of Asians and us. I walk into a masjid, I think it's my own house. I walk in, so I don't go Assalamu alaikum. I go Assalamu alaikum, and everyone's like, what the heck, these white guys proper on here. It's nice because they're seeing a change, they're seeing a guy what finds the masjid comfortable, you know what I mean? Like I go into Wuz Khan and a lot of people that probably as a revert, you feel embarrassed going to Wuz Khan and I won't lie to you, but some reverts might not even pray with wudu. They might just feel uncomfortable, they might have broke it, but they feel uncomfortable surrounded by Muslims trying to do you wudu in front of them, you know what I mean? You feel embarrassed. But then again, after that barrier walks, you walk in and you sit like a Muslim. You go over to the stool what you're meant to sit on with your bum and you put your feet on it, you sit like a monkey squatting down and you're washing your hands, you're washing your face. And a lot of people when they first become Muslim, they'll put mouth and gurgle and a little bit of spit. I just poof, it goes in there. Everyone looks like, wow, this guy's comfortable. It's like bathing yourself, but you're not at home. But yeah, you get comfortable, you get happy, you love it, you get jolly. Like at the moment, I'm myself, you smiling and laughing. I'm a bit nervous.
That's what I meant, disguised.
I'm a bit nervous because I've got 3 cameras on my head, so I'm going to be a bit nervous here. But when you get used to it, you see the brothers as your own brothers. Like I don't go to the mosque and go, oh, I've met this guy, I met so. I just go, oh, I met some brothers today. I call them brothers, I call uncles. If I see an auntie down the road, I call her auntie. You start developing the actual family orientation. Like I don't believe that I've just got one family. I believe that I've got hundreds of family. I don't go to another area and think I'm not welcome in a masjid. And my experience in a masjid, I've had bad experiences, I've had good experiences. I've had experiences where I didn't feel welcomed and someone thought that I weren't a Muslim. But then I've also had good experience where people just drag you in the masjid and go, what are you doing? Do you want to have something to eat? And you're like, this isn't a restaurant, but yeah, I'll have something to eat if you're going to offer me some biscuits or something.
But I want to put, you said you had all this like a family, but I'm going to give a shout out to one individual here, Brother Anhar, because I know he was very instrumental in terms of helping with you and keeping on the straight path. Yeah. Tell me how important was that connection with a brother? The connection with Anhar is like a connection that you'll have with your mum. It's a strange thing. I haven't got a father, so that's the only strangest thing I can put it to. A connection like you would with your mum. Like if I needed guidance or I needed help, Anhar was the one I needed to talk to. I wouldn't go straight to the source like the Imam al-Mufti like a lot of people would do. I would go to Anhar, he was the middleman. If I needed help with something, he guided me. If I had a problem with something, he would take me out and talk to me. If I were in a mosque and I didn't know something, he'll show me. Like, I didn't know how to do wudu properly. Yeah, there's a lot of videos out there, but a lot of them don't go into detail. Like, there's sunnah of the wudu and there's also other things of the wudu. Like, you don't have to do it 3 times, you can do it once. You can do it with dirt, you can do it with sand, you can do it with anything surrounding, you can do wudus anyway. But I didn't know that until Anhar showed me that. He helped me with my Quran recitation, so most of my recitations I helped back from him, listening to him and going over them. He also showed me what surahs were the smallest surahs to learn, instead of going straight to the beginning and learning it out
al-Baqarah and all them stuff, and Yasin, I went straight to the back of the source, and he showed me which one to learn first. Because as a child, when you're a Muslim child, you learn the small ones first, so it helps you pray. So he taught me as if I was a child in Islam. And he used to always say to me, you are newborn, you're like a baby in Islam. You're not, and I don't, you're new to Islam, you're a newborn baby, you're clean, you're pure. And I didn't get that until after when I started learning more stuff. Then I thought, wow, I've caught up to a lot of people. Like, my knowledge isn't everything. There's a lot of knowledge to learn about Islam, but I have got quite a lot of knowledge because if he didn't teach me, help me out, I'll probably be lost, to be honest. And that's the truth.
And I actually give a lot of credit to Brother Anhar as well, because obviously, even though I took your Shahada, I don't take credit for it in terms of your upbringing and becoming a Muslim. I always say to everyone, Anhar is the one that I praise the most. But in terms of, you talked about yourself, how you became Muslim, but I want to talk about what advice would you give to people like me? You know, what advice would you give something like me or da'is, people who give dawah on a regular occurrence? You know, how should they deal with new Muslims, new reverts? What should they be doing?
Show them how to open a bottle of water first. That's one thing I can tell you. You saw me struggling, you watched it.
I thought you were going to drink it out of your hand.
No, I'm going to put it in a cup, I couldn't open it.
That's why I started laughing. I thought you were going to start drinking it with your hand.
No. Hey, so, in a way, like, how can the Muslim community help the reverts? Is that what you're trying to say?
Not just necessarily the Muslim community. I'm talking more about the people who are directly involved in the dawah. So,
what can you do to help them more?
Yeah, what can I do? Like, for example, I think I failed in many occurrences.
We've had a couple of discussions about this before in the past, haven't we? So, the first thing is keeping in touch. Keeping in touch is the biggest thing you can do for a revert. Biggest thing you can ever do. Because once you take a shahada with someone, it is easy to lose focus and contact. Now, it's not mostly on the person's fault who's helped them do the shahada or guided them. Usually the reverts feels excluded. Like I said to you in the mosque you feel alone there until you start adapting. So they start cutting people off themselves. But keeping contact is the biggest thing. Keeping a regime. You don't have to be like, come to the mosque every day, do this, do that. All you got to do is every now and again text them, what you doing? Would you like to meet up for a meal? Let's have a talk. Don't. It's free food, man. No one's going to turn that down. Here they do, they're fat. But saying that, or they're on a diet, they're going to gym and they're power lifters, then they're going to turn food. But no one in the right mind's turning food down. I know I didn't. Keeping in touch with them, the first thing you should always give them is an English Quran. Because a lot of people are going to go on the internet, they're going to type in Quran, recitations and translations. And some things on the internet aren't always the correct translation. Like some of them are being falsified on the internet. I've seen them myself, where some things are meaning stuff. Like you can see other groups where they're against Islam and they're twisting it. So some people might look into that and think that's right, it's not wrong. So give them an English Quran, or a legitimate one. Let them go home, let them read it. Keep in touch with them, second thing. The third thing is, if they don't know how to pray, give them links, give them YouTube video links, give them someone to follow like Mufti Men, give them scholars. Don't let them do it on their own, because the first thing what's going to happen is they're going to look too much into different stuff and they're just going to be like, wow, this is overwhelming, I can't do it. They need to know the right sources to look for to help them. Like with me, like I said with Anhar, he showed me Mufti Meng, he showed me a couple of scholars what to follow, he showed me hadith, so at this point I knew what to follow. He showed me certain things that a revert wouldn't even know what to look into. Like for example, what madhab you're following, like what imam, it says 4 imams, that kind of stuff, but I won't get into that because it's a bit detailed. But that's what helped me to focus on what rulings I should be following, what techniques I should be doing, what I should be doing, what I shouldn't be doing, what's right from wrong. That's a big structure what you need to give people. Give to people the knowledge they need to start off as a Muslim, and then gradually help them advance into where they need to be. That's the best thing.
Sure, I think that's advice that we should all take on board in terms of, even for myself, like how we should deal with Muslims. And I think I mentioned this last time, but the connection I think is really important, because if you lose it, I've had people, and sometimes not always the fault of the person giving the shahada, sometimes it's just inevitable. I've had people who have embraced Islam in front of me, tears have come out, and then suddenly they don't want to know you. And you're like, no.
Again, like I said, it's not only on your side, it's also there. Maybe they just got something going off and they just don't want to talk, and then that's how the structure, because they might be fobbing you off and thinking, you know, I don't want to chat to him, I don't want to talk to him, and then it's got to a norm that they think, oh, what if I do text him, they think I'm being rude to him because I haven't texted him for a while, so they lose connection with you, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying, every couple of weeks contact, exchange numbers. Don't let them go, even if they want, even if you feel like they're persuading you away. I'm not saying knock on the door and be like, come on bro, we're going out, I've got a car outside, taxi and what. Just quick text, how are you? If you're feeling a bit down, you know where I am, I'm here. If you feel like something's wrong, text me, let me know. You've got my number 24/7, it's on. Even if I'm in bed, like you once said that to me, even if I'm in bed and it's 4 o'clock in the morning, text me, I'll answer it. If I don't answer it, forgive me and I'll text you in the morning. That's it.
I can't remember saying that, but okay.
I remember it about 4 months ago, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, mashallah. Good on me. Good on me.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're good, didn't you? His brother's got wisdom but don't know it.
But the other thing I'm going to say is, I'm going to say your future aspirations for yourself as an individual. Now, I know that you're a newlywed now, mashallah. You know, a lot of hearts were broken there.
Shouldn't have said that. That's not going to help me now.
No. We'll edit it out maybe.
There you go on.
So, you recently married, mashallah.
Yep.
What are your future aspirations for the future Khalid in terms of knowledge? What do you want to become? What do you want to learn?
Well, going back to the past before I get onto that part, I actually wanted to be an imam.
You want to be an imam?
When I first became a Muslim for the first year and a half, 2 years, my inspiration was becoming imam, so I tried learning the Quran as much as I could. I can't read Arabic. I won't lie to people say I can read Arabic. I do it from YouTube, I listen to them, I write them down in my own English writing, I learn it from that way. I've actually found a good reference which is called the Quran. Go on that and it gives you translation English, Urdu, Arabic, anything you want, good translation. That's a really good one, the Quran. Give people that, it helps a lot.
We'll put in the description below.
Because when it's playing, you can read it in English. So say if it says Bismillah, it actually says Bismillah in English, not in Arabic.
Okay.
And then it gives you English translation what it actually means, what it's saying. It's quite good. I found out myself, so I'm very smart with that one. That's my trademark. No copyright included. But saying that, it's sorry, I've totally drifted what you were saying now. I've got onto that reference that quick.
We were talking about your future aspirations.
Yeah, that's right. So when I first got Muslim, first year and 2 years,
You want to be an imam, you said?
Yeah, I wanted to be an imam. So I thought I could do it on my own. I can learn the full Quran, be a Hafiz and then go to a madrasa. I actually even looked into a madrasa. I actually talked to one imam, and we know him very closely. Won't mention names, unless I'm allowed, but I don't think I am, can I?
I don't know. Let's keep it quiet in case it's...
That's it. So, and I asked him, and he said, just get someone to sponsor you, can go to a madrasa. Oh, right, me, I'm going to be an imam and everything. But obviously, that was me overthinking my aspirations and that. But I did want to be an imam, but now, at the moment, all I want to be a good Muslim. I want to bring my children up to have a choice. You know, I don't want to force anything on them. I want them to go to a madrasa and learn the Quran and learn hadiths. I want them to have knowledge of Islam. But, as they say, you can't force people to be Muslim. So, like I said, I'm a Revert, I've got English family. My wife's obviously Asian, she's got Asian family, but I'm Muslim. So my kids are going to learn different things from Islam and from English people. So it's going to be a bit of a weird area. They're going to see things what Muslims shouldn't do and then things what Muslims do. You know what I mean? So as I said, my aspiration is to be a good Muslim, teach my kids Islam, let them learn from it, and just have a career where I can provide for my family. To be honest, that's all I want, and nothing above. You know what I mean? I want to have a house in Jannah, everyone does. But on the other hand, I want to be able to have a house in Dunya, innit? That's what I want. That's what I need.
You be able to provide for your family here as well.
Provide for your family, concentrate on that, concentrate on Islam.
So no intention of becoming like an imam. There are...
You know what? Being an imam is like being a manager. There's a lot of stress to it. You've got a lot of responsibility too. I'm very weak-minded when it comes to stress. Stress overtakes me a lot. So being an imam is like a manager, that's how I can describe it. You've got a lot of people asking you what's right from wrong. And when they've got a complaint, like you would in a normal business, you've got a complaint, you've got to deal with that complaint in-house. you can't fob that off to someone else. That's your responsibility. And it's like a teacher as well, you've got to teach a lot of people different stuff from your knowledge. And one slip up or one thing mistake, that's on you. That's not on anyone else. I don't want that responsibility. I do not want that at all. But mashallah, imams are the greatest people to go to because they got a lot of experience, a lot of wisdom. They know what they're talking about. They know references, they know hadiths from heart. But on the other hand, that's not for me. For me, it's just being a Muslim, knowing what I need to know, praying how I have to pray. That's it. Jobs are good.
Mashallah.
Pick the small fruits. Don't go for the big fruit. Don't fail.
It's good advice because obviously you're trying to do well for yourself.
Yeah.
We're coming towards the end, and I remember hearing this story from you about once before about how we talked last week with a brother, and he was saying how he felt lonely on Eid.
Yeah.
But I guess you had slightly the opposite experience on it. Oh, you were lonely as well?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, apologies.
Because the thing is, my sisters were both
Yeah.
Muslims, yes. Right? And they're still white. So I still lived in a family full of white people that weren't Muslims. So did my sisters. So we didn't celebrate Eid like Asians do, Arabs do, Somalis do. We just basically, if we're a normal day, like even at Christmas gatherings, we've never celebrated Christmas. It was just open a present, go out and play with your mates, and that was it. We're not gonna, oh yeah, you should celebrate with Christmas trees. My mum never used to put loads of trimmings up, she put a tree, that was it, you know what I mean? But even then, my sisters, they would just go out with their friends and do what they wanted, to go out to eat. Now, as a revert Muslim male, having male mates what are Muslim-born Muslims, they've got a lot of family what are Muslims. So they go into Bradford, Birmingham, Newcastle, London, Crewe, Coventry. They're going with their family celebrating their Eid with their family.
I was thinking when you said Newcastle, I said, who goes to Newcastle from you?
There's quite a few
Really?
Muslims that go, yeah, I know quite a few that live in Newcastle. They're into getting, that's what I mean, this world's different now, man.
Okay, yeah.
Everything's different
I'm
now.
still thinking of Great Horton Road and Windsor Road in Manchester still.
Oh, I go Winslow Road all the time. It's the best place to go and eat. Oh, it's quite busy, so if you go in there for Eid,
And we don't recommend it, by the way.
don't recommend it, but if you go in there for Eid to have something halal, don't go for shisha and stuff, go for a meal with your family, book a table and go at night time. That's best advice I can give, seriously. But no, on Eid, like I said, I was white revert Muslim male. All my mates were going out to the family's houses. Obviously, I have to go out, go to people's houses and do that. So I was at home on my own, and my English mates didn't celebrate it. So I went out with them while they were doing what they wanted to do. Obviously, you know, I mean, like smoking and stuff. I didn't do that stuff. So while they were out doing that, I just sat with them, and it's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then you start developing your own way of Eid. You know what I mean? You start doing things you want to do. Like you start trying to do Eid yourself, like on your own. Like, yeah, I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna have this, I'm gonna go kebab, I'm gonna go Imran's inside Sheffield and go get Imran special and all that. You go on your own. But again, it's just another day if you think about it for a revert. We don't think about Eid like, oh, we should go out to families. And being married to an Asian lady now, to my wife, going to the families, I've realised there's a lot of pictures. That's what Eid's about, pictures. You just go there, take pictures, you eat, you get your fill, you go home, you go to bed, you wake up, it's another day. But
Tell us about the story about you told me about the food.
which part?
About I'm just going to do a hand movement here. When you were sat next to an elderly lady or the mother of the house,
Okay, yeah.
and how she put an extra portion of food in for you.
Oh yeah, that is another thing, right? When you go to an Asian's house, go with an empty stomach. Like, I mean, don't eat for 3 days. You eat an hour before that, mate, you've done yourself. And you know when they said dunya's dunya, it's dunya. Seriously, right? I sat there and I had one plate, right? I started scoffing my face. I'm rushing this food. I'm thinking this is amazing. This one plate of doing me, I've scoffed it. I've seen this spoon come at the corner, right? Boom, straight rice, straight down, straight lamb curry. I'm like, what are you doing? Eat it. I'm like, seriously? They're like, yeah. And you're leaving there at least 3 plates full. So my advice, if you go to an Asian's house, you're sat there eating like Arab's house or Somali's house, eat slow and pretend you're full. Don't rush that plate, because you're eating a second plate whether you like it or not. Seriously, I left there with 3 plates full. My belly, I put weight on. I mean, my arms have never been so big in life. I don't even lift. They're just naturally big now.
Mashallah, mashallah. Alhamdulillah. We're actually coming towards the end of
You
the
said
podcast.
that twice already, so
We're
that's
actually-
great.
Is there anything the last thing you want to say? Any piece of advice for our guests, our audience?
Piece of advice: subscribe, like. So here's the man, and he's got his thinking hat on.
Thank you very much. That's Khalid, the larger than life character. Inshallah, we'll have you back again soon.
I
Hopefully,
will.
inshallah.
If I'm in him, man.
Inshallah. Hopefully, you'll be on my seat one day.
You never know. Might be a half yourself. You never know.
Oh, maybe.
One day, inshallah.
Inshallah.
All could happen.
Okay then. See you next time, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
No, also thank you to the cameraman as well behind. He's telling me.
On £9 an hour. £9 an hour.
0.